Life is hard. Life wasn't meant to be easy. If it was, what would be the point of living? Think about that for a second. We all go through different struggles and hardships, but it is about how we respond to these challenges in our lives that define us. For me, my middle school years were some of the darkest times in my life. But I wouldn't trade these moments away for all the knowledge and mistakes I made, which make me that person I am speaking to you all today. Now, you may be thinking, here comes a motivational talk about the meaning of life from a young man with little to none life experience. And well, you nailed it. I'm attempting to motivate my peers to recognize their hardships without competing for the most trauma. Because not only do our obstacles help us grow, they define our character. Our character is a way the world can view upon us. It is also a way we can perceive ourselves. It is defined by the choices we make, and our mentality has to be strong to make these difficult choices we encounter in life. Get ready to be motivated by 3 philosophies I'm going to provide to you. These philosophies, in no particular order of importance, will help strengthen your mentality. Follow these, and whatever life throws at you, I believe you'll be able to handle it. Now, how did I realize and articulate these philosophies in the first place? I've accumulated them from my humble 16 years of life in conjunction with the life experiences of those around me. I believe they can help other people around my age. So, without further ado, the first philosophy of today is you have to have self-discipline. I recently read the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a great book. It essentially helps get your mentality ready to accumulate riches. I want to mention a quote from this book. It speaks of self-discipline, and it reads, "If you do not conquer self, you'll be conquered by self." I'm going to say that again. If you do not conquer self, you'll be conquered by self. For me, this quote's very significant, and it is the wallpaper on the lock screen of my phone, so you best believe I'd be seeing it every single day of my life. And this quote is something I believe everyone should live by every day of their life, because the principle of this quote and of self-discipline is very simple. If you cannot control yourself, you cannot control your life. There's no questions about it. I believe we've all gotten in an argument with our family members and we snapped at them because we were angry or they were disagreeing with us in some type of way. I believe we all have peers nowadays that procrastinate from their lives and most likely spend 12 plus hours a day on their phone just scrolling through TikTok and Instagram. I, for one, have friends who take highly addictive substances like nicotine and to this day continue to take these substances even after several attempts to quit. Now I'm going to share you a story about my good friend Omar, who I've gotten permission of to tell you all about him and the principle of self-discipline. You see, my friend Omar, he's an excellent basketball player. He's currently on the JV team for his high school, and he might move up to varsity next year. Well, in middle school, he would have described himself as a bit lazy. He was still a good basketball player, but he was at a plateau in his basketball career. He needed to learn how to take his game to the next level. Well, in the middle of 8th and 9th grade, something snapped. He suddenly had a strong desire to take this basketball talent and make something out of it. He knew he had to work hard to achieve this goal, but he had to discipline himself to work harder than anyone else. He described to me that he took a lot of sacrifices, and it took a lot out of him. You see, he did multiple workouts a day, every day, whether it be early in the morning or late at night. He did all of this because he knew he was bound to get great results. May I remind you, Omar is currently on the JV team for his high school. He tells me that the varsity coach is in talks with him of moving up next year. I've known Omar for 11 years now, And to me, he is the living, breathing definition of hard work and self-discipline. Now we move on to the second philosophy of today, which is caring about yourself first before you care about others, otherwise known as self-care. Do not put the happiness of others ahead of your own. The only thing you should feel like doing, which may seem a little selfish, is caring about yourself, whether it be physically or mentally. For example, you could be eating cleaner, you can be doing more exercise, or you could even be reading a book nowadays, which is very unlikely. But just doing your own thing. Do not let others discourage you to do the things that you don't enjoy to do. Because the only things you should feel like doing are the things that you enjoy to do, whether they like it or not. Also, take time to yourself, because this is Also, take time for yourself, because this is something very essential for your well-being. We can often be caught up doing things for others while not really taking care of ourselves. Furthermore, do not let others make decisions for you, because it will usually benefit them and not you. What I'm trying to get at here with all these points is be your own person. Stop trying to fit in, just do your own thing. Because for me, it makes me really angry that there are people every day that get controlled by their friends and their loved ones. They become a living replica of that person who influenced them. They have potential to be a great person, but it is wasted by peer pressure getting to the best of them. And as for an example of this, just look at me. I would describe myself as a very vulnerable person in middle school. What I mean by this is I was afraid to say no. I was afraid to disagree to my friends because I believed their judgment was higher than mine. I believed that their decisions were better than mine. I was just trying to fit in with them because they were the cool kids, because they were the people who were most popular. My father saw what was going on, and he knocked some sense into my head. You see, he said, get a grip on your life, because it is yours and not theirs. And with that little bit of wisdom, I changed. I became a less shy, more confident person. Heck, I did an entire TED Talk. There were people that didn't like the new me, and those who did, I just simply don't talk to them much anymore. Everything I did was for me and only me. Speaking of cutting people off, you do not have to be around people you don't want to be around. But there is an exception to this, because as dependents, we cannot yet remove toxic family members from our lives. But what I'm more concerned about today is friendships and intimate relationships. There's this old saying that states, tell me who your friends are, and I will show you your future. This statement still holds up to this day. Remember when I said, our character is a way the world can view us? Well, our relationships is another way the world makes judgments upon us. Am I saying it's bad to have friends? To have a lot of friends? Absolutely not. But you have to find the real friends to have a great supporting cast around you. And at the end of the day, it is your choice. You choose who you want to be around, and nobody can take that right away from you. If you feel as this one person is not being honest with you or another is lowering your self-esteem, then just simply cut them off. It's just not worth it. Do not let other people control your life. Be the captain of your own ship. Now we move on to the final philosophy, which is do not be afraid of failure. And for me, this was the hardest one to get down. As those of you who are close to me know, I am very competitive. I don't take losing very lightheartedly. But I'd argue that you don't have to be uber competitive to relate to this. I believe everyone was once or still is afraid of making mistakes. You want to know an interesting statistic? Around the Halloween time of 2015, a goal-based network did a survey on what people's worst fear was. This goal-based network was named Link-A-Goal, and out of 1,083 respondents, a third's worst fear was failure. To understand how we fear failure in the first place, we must understand why we fear it. And I feel like the answer to this is very, very simple. We want to be perfect. We want to be perfect for those around us. We want to be perfect for ourselves. We set ourselves to high standards, and we don't want to disappoint the people around us. But I feel like, and I think everyone's heard this before, you cannot be perfect. And for it to take effect in your life, you have to embed it in your head. Because, let's face it, the people you adore aren't perfect. The celebrities you look up to aren't perfect. I am not perfect. You are not perfect. Nobody on this planet is perfect. That's why I believe perfection is a myth. So, if we can take this desire to be perfect and make it seem irrational, then we could take failure and accept it with open arms. Because with failure comes mistakes, and with mistakes comes learning opportunities. So, if we can take this opportunity we have of failure and use it to help us grow, we then increase our self-worth. A word of caution, however, do not be caught up making the same mistakes over and over again, because that just means you're wasting your time. You're not learning anything. Now, what's a great example in the real world of success from failure? Well, I want you guys to take a look at Michael Jordan. He's quoted saying, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career, and I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted taking the game's winning shot, and I missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Now, Michael Jordan is pretty well known for his success, so if you can't take it from me, take it from him. There you have it. The answer to all of life's questions. Not really. There are more motivational philosophies I couldn't have gone into, but these are the ones that helped me get through middle school. Check back in with me after college, and I may have 10 philosophies to live by. Better yet, after retirement, I may have consolidated all of life's mysteries into one simple philosophy. All I can offer you today is what I know, and that is the 3 secrets to living a successful life are self-discipline, self-care, and self-worth.